Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me is Chente Okoli. Chente, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking,
Yes.
and I'm glad to be here as
As
always.
always. And I have our big sis, Adesuwa Ewogbokan. I hope I got it
Good
right this
evening,
time.
Fanta.
I hope I got it right this time. I don't master the name well.
No, sir, we don't call me Sisi Ade. It's
Sorry?
okay.
What did you say?
No, I said, if you can't do that, can just call me Sisi Ade.
Okay,
Can do
Sisi
that.
Ade. Yes, it
Yeah, we
makes
can do
life.
that.
Yeah, Sisi Ade sounds very okay. Okay, so today we're discussing dealing with mismatched libido. Thank God it's Friday. When we finish this conversation, everybody will go house with their different libidos. Chente, you are your home. Hold something strong. Hold something tight because when we
I
discuss,
am. I am.
hold something tight because today, mismatched libido. Sisi Ade, over to you. What is this about?
Wow.
What is this about?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Before we even
evening.
start, let's take a look at what is even sex libido.
Exactly.
Let's start from there. Sex libido or sex drive, as some people know it to be, is that motivation, desire, to behave sexually or engage in sexual what activity.
Activities.
While on the other hand, what we are talking about tonight, mismatched libido or mismatched sex drive, is a situation where one partner, if it be the husband or if it be the wife, have what a higher desire for sex. He crave for it more than the other person in marriage or in relationship.
Okay.
This thing happen, e dey happen oo, e dey happen most times. It's a common problem in relationship. So a number, we'll get there, I know we'll get there along the line. A number of factors are actually responsible for this mismatch sex drive, not be just by mistake. Sometimes it's coming from a place of stress or stress, fatigue, hormonal what imbalance. You see that thing when woman dey get belle, menopause. Then for the men, um low male hormonal whatever can affect libido. So if you don address this, the health issues, because there are some drugs, some chronic illness or pain, they can also affect this thing. And there plenty o. Is it the language? Love language is there. Aging is there.
Okay.
Past trauma or experience. Was that person abused before? Body image, when you are not sexually confident of your body. You understand? Your lifestyle, emotional disconnection. When the man or the woman is not being heard, is not being supported, he's saying something, but the other partner is not listening or even hearing him out. So all these factors are some of the major reasons that are responsible
Possible
for
for.
libido. Because
Okay.
when these things are present, you not get as the thing wanted balance. The truth of the matter is that it's not a big deal. There's always, how will I put it? There's a way out. It's something
Okay.
that can be properly addressed. Because
Okay.
if not, it can lead to frustration.
Okay.
It can lead to another stress. It can lead to a number of negativity. That is
Okay.
just it.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Chente.
So,
Okay, so Chente, I know that you are not a sex therapist, but as an individual and as a human being, what's your take on mismatched libido, dealing with mismatched libido?
So, I am not a sex therapist yet.
Oh,
In fact,
you
yes,
intend
so
you
yes.
intend to go there. Nice.
So In fact, is that urgent that we are literally like the course is meant to run throughout next week, and I've
Okay.
registered, so I'm ready. So if this was to happen next week, I'm sure that I will be bringing fire points everywhere, right? But for now, let me stay in my lane,
Yeah, but at
right?
least, but just
As
speak
a,
from, you
as
can speak from a layman's point
exactly.
of view.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So I think, right, I think, as Adeswa has mentioned, and she beautifully explained it, right? So libido is like the natural desire for sexual activity, right? It's like it's like sex drive, right? It's the natural desire for sexual activity, right? And then my take on, mismatched libido is that there is a place that sometimes is always coming from, right? Everybody wants to feel loved. Everybody wants to feel touched. Everybody wants to, they want to have some form of intimacy, right? But I think if there's a mismatch, that means we should understand that there is a problem somewhere in a way, right? If you feel like your partner's own is like, his own is over the roof, and I just want to be. This man he always wants to gum body with me. Then maybe it might be you or it might be your partner. There's a reason maybe you don't want to always be intimate. There's a reason why he always wants to be intimate, right? So I think it's something to really look about because it can cause a lot of issues in marriage and relationship. It does. It does. And to some extent, in as much as we will not say it's because of libido that people are there cheating, but to some extent, I think that some people, because of mismatched libido, some people can look outside just to satisfy their sexual urges. So I think it's a topic that we should indeed look into and talk about. It's very important, especially in relationships, in marriages,
And
Yeah.
all that. Okay. Okay, so the honest truth is it every time that it's actually, so sometimes high libido, like extremely high libido, can actually be a problem.
Yes.
Yes, because Sisi Ade, I've heard ladies say their husbands want to have sex every 2 days or every day. Is that normal?
There's nothing wrong with it
Having
on
sex
a
every
monthly.
day?
Wait, say sex. We are talking about mismatch libido
No,
now.
I'm talking about
So,
having sex. No, what I'm saying is,
okay, sex every day. The truth is
yes.
that, let's go there. It depends on the individual. It depends on the couple. What might be a problem for couple A might not be a problem for the other person.
Very true.
Don't really have a yardstick to measure these things. So that was what I was saying. It depends on those that are involved. Then again, when we are saying sex, 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 for this topic, I want us to let's try and redefine what sex or love making is all about. At the end of the day, sex is not supposed to be all about intercourse. When I say intercourse, penetrative what? Sex. We have alternative sex. That is what we call intercourse. Things that happen outside the body. Do you understand? What happened to non-sexual what? Touching. Do you understand? So, like that lady that said, oh, the husband wants it every day, there is an alternative. Because the thing there is that when you don't hear your partner out, and if it happen repeatedly, that person might feel rejected, and before you know it, resentment will come
Okay.
and low self-esteem. And the person that, like the lady that is denying, that is complaining now, she also will now be feeling overwhelmed or guilty or pressure. Do you understand? So to balance that thing, it's high time Nigerians, because I think it's more of a Nigerian thing. Let's
Yes.
invest in outer course. Outer course, yes, that is alternative sex. That's where your oral sex comes from. Last week we talked about sex toys. You see, this is one of the advantages of what sex toys. Do you understand? When the available is not available, you make use of the one that is available. So it depends on who is involved. That is the truth of the matter.
Hmm.
I
I
agree.
And
think
you,
I think
I
religious
am.
people will leave this this discussion, they will carry their bag and run. Because what do you mean outer sex?
Please,
Like,
I even need her to actually educate us on that. So please, Sisi
very
Ade, can you
true.
educate us on that? Because it's an alternative, and I think it's one of the solutions that will solve, that would one of the solutions to solve whatever it is that people are having, this whole
Yeah,
libido thing. So can you educate us on what it means and how we can go about it?
like I rightly said before, alternative sex is the same thing as a
Oral
intercourse.
sex.
Like just like we say inter, that is outer, things that happen outside the body. And what are some of these things that happen outside the body? Like cuddling, smooshing, uh, just play. And for those that are into oral sex, then I will go there because now the work where they do, me you're talking
Talk
finish.
and
That is where
say it in plain English.
yeah, no, I'm going to say it in plain English, don't
Yes.
worry. That is where mutual masturbation comes in.
Good.
Do you understand?
Yay!
Yes, let's go there. That is it.
I
So,
love this.
so it's part of the outer. So when you kiss and you're out doing all those things, there's some activities also can set the tone for the real thing, for the real deal, for those who say they no enter inside, now wahala. So what you do outside will set the mood for the other room. Let me use that word. So
Okay.
other course is basically your foreplay. At the end of the day, simply defined as the foreplay you invest. Last week we also talked about it's not just about foreplay. What kind of foreplay are you indulging in? Is it quality? Is it quantity? So most time we advise quality. Quality time spend some. So that is just what utter cost. And sometimes when people do it and they want to be real, they put their body, soul, and mind in it. They will still achieve orgasm. Orgasm, and for ladies, that is one of the quickest way for ladies to actually achieve orgasm. Simple.
I
That is it.
think I think that, right? I think that there is a lot that will contradict the religious standpoint because I think Dr. Tolu was saying something, right, in one of our lectures when we were still training. And then she said something like she had gone to a church where, she's a sex therapist and she had gone to a church where she was teaching about sex and the pastor came and said, everything that you are teaching, she was teaching about sex. I think she was also talking about, how you are free to explore, right? How you are free to explore. Oral says you are free to explore, right? Enjoy yourself. And then the pastor came and said that everything that Dr. Tolu said is a lie, that we don't practice it here.
That's his opinion. That is his
Thank
opinion. That
God.
is his own opinion, though.
Yeah.
But now, right now, it is his own opinion, it's true.
Wait,
But imagine what every other person in that
let,
congregation would now think.
let
Oh,
me come in here. Let me
okay.
come in here. Thank God.
Okay.
Dr. Tolu is a colleague, is a friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go there. I've also been to churches. As
Hmm.
in, I write for Sunday Vanguard. I have a column there for every Sunday. So most time they reach out to me through those columns. I don't want to call names. I've been to some of the biggest churches, as in their whatever couples. And the pastor, they will tell you, Sisi Ade, you have the mic, go there. Even there was a particular one I went to, some of the elders were frowning, they were doing this. But
Hmm.
when the main pastor, the overhead came, he just said, he said, in fact, I'm also just, I want to change tonight with my wife. And the wife was there. So it depends on you, who you are dealing with. And the truth is that, pastor or no pastor, if we go to that religious side now, let's go there. The Bible said the bed on the fire, whatever you do on that bed, as long as you are not committing what? Infidelity, or what's it called?
Adultery.
You are okay. No one person can tell you how to enjoy your sexual life as long as you are even married. So if you are not even married again, that's a separate thing. They are matured. It depends on what you want. Because you'll be the one that will bear whatever consequences that might come with it. So it
Okay.
depends. It actually does depend. I've been so lucky with churches that I've been to. I go to for men's program and stuff like that. So it just depends on the church.
Okay,
And
so I am trying not to ask some questions here, Sisi Ade, but let me just throw it
Ask,
let me
ask,
just throw it
Franca.
out here. Yes. So when you say, as far as you're not committing adultery, you're not
On
fun
your matrimonial
on your
bed, that is
matrimonial
what I'm
bed.
referring
So
to.
so are you saying, as a sex therapist, anal
Yeah.
sex and same gender sex is okay?
No, for me personally and for
Okay.
what I stand for, I
Okay.
don't like bringing religion in, but for recommendation, for suggestion, we don't even encourage it in the sex coaching or therapy, no. For
Okay.
health reasons, those things are
For
not
health
it.
reasons. Thank
Don't
you.
stand for
So
it.
let's just clear
Yeah.
that, because I know that some people
Okay.
can say, oh, they want to explore, and they begin to do all that. And they said,
I'm not an advocate. No, no,
I've heard
no.
that for the men, the G spot is back there.
Yeah, anus.
Yes, that
Mm-hmm.
Chente, Chente, I've never seen you
Yes,
excited.
you say
I've
it.
never seen you excited like this before.
You have to say it.
Okay, so I've heard severally that the G spot for the men is back there. So, and then once they go there, it's heaven for them. So, and the truth is, if you're saying you want to have sex and you want to enjoy everything about sex, then for crying out loud, hit the G spot. Chente,
So
don't you
guess
agree?
what?
Okay,
Guess what?
okay, okay,
I've had a situation where this person likes it, like a couple came in and they truly explored it. But it was not like a queer couple, right? It was like a straight couple, like a man and a woman that came in. And then the woman was exploring it on her husband. They were like anal sex with
okay,
sex toys. And
okay.
it was, in fact, I've never seen so much connection. It's as if they knew what they wanted, right? It's as if they just matched their energy. It was good. To be honest, I was like, so this is happening in Nigeria, like literally,
Okay.
Now,
right?
movie or
And
you dey watch am? Were you there or you dey watch am for
I
movie?
was not there now. I was not there now.
No, they were
But
talking. They were telling him.
I just want to know.
No, they were just telling him. From what he
yeah.
said, they were mentioning it to him. Okay,
Okay,
so but
based on
okay,
what
so
you
but
said,
but so, okay, so but Chente, so when you
Mm-hmm.
say the woman was practicing it with her husband, we're talking about the G spot here. So that means it's the G spot for the man. Is that not what we're speaking about?
Sorry?
So when you say the woman was trying it on her husband or with her
Uh-huh.
husband, what did you mean? Is it who? Because we're saying the G spot for the men is back there.
Yes, I said the woman used a dildo on her husband.
A
That
lot of
way that
people.
you squeezed your face, that is how I squeezed my face. I was like, to be that open, like, and it was beautiful. Like, it's something that they've explored many times. This is what works for them. She's like, if I want my husband to go crazy, it was beautiful. Like, it's something that they've explored. If I want my husband to do it.
Okay, so
so I
Sisi Ade,
yes,
so
ma'am.
Sisi Ade,
Yes,
back to
ma'am.
you. So
Yes,
in
okay.
this, so some people would say now, because of this whole transgender thing, because of this bisexual thing, you begin to find out that some people would say that if the man can take a dildo, that means he
You
can
can
actually
take.
take the real thing.
That was why I was asking that question because I've had a situation where a lady tried that. See, the thing there is
Franca,
that
stop squeezing your face
wait,
now.
let me say
I'm not
something.
squeezing
I
my
think
face.
the lady, I think the
I'm
lady
trying
is
to
thinking
listen.
that yes, I think the lady is thinking that maybe the man does something like that with same
Other
Outside with other men.
exactly, exactly.
maybe the
That's
husband
why,
yes.
exactly, that's where the problem. So, Chente, let me explain to you. It's not about confidence. It's not about, so let me tell you what it is. Because there are so many
Mm-hmm.
stories out there, do you understand, saying that a lot of married men are bisexuals. And then
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, maybe the woman, let's say that the woman was just trying to figure out if really it is true. And then she brings a
Yeah.
dildo to try on her husband. And the guy is excited about it. And the guy collects it well. Do you understand?
Well,
Well, exactly. So trust me, in her quiet time, she's going to be thinking, oh, this is true. My doubt and everything, you understand, is true.
Yeah.
And then secondly, even if that guy is not bi, Chente, there are possibilities that because he has tried that, the mind is funny. He's going to start saying, you know what? How about I try the real thing?
Franca, I'm saying it. Sexuality is complicated.
Okay.
It is, right? As
Okay.
somebody who has studied sexuality, gender, the LGBTQ community, I'm saying that sexuality is truly broad,
Okay.
right? It is truly broad. And I'm going to say that somebody that is confident in his sexuality is confident in his sexuality. Whether he loves a woman using strap on him, if he's not attracted to some certain things, he wouldn't go for it. No
That's
matter
what
how
that's
curious.
what we're
We are,
saying. That's
we
what
are
we're
saying the same
saying.
thing.
We're
We are
saying the
saying
same
the
thing,
same thing.
Chente. So that means he has come out of his closet to the wife.
Yeah.
Do you understand what it
No, I'm
means?
not saying this person is not. No, I'm not
Chente,
saying that. I
you don't
said
get,
that.
Chente, you don't get it. See, let me tell you what it is.
I hope you're not a lawyer.
No, don't
No, I'm
mind
not.
Chente. Chente, see, let me tell you what it is. Whether you like it or not, if you collect as a guy, if you're okay with a dildo back there, do you understand? That means there are chances that you would want to take the real thing at some point. Forget it because the truth, you just said something.
Tendency. Okay.
Chente, you just said something now. You said, see, if you are not attracted to something, if it doesn't excite you, you will never do it. That's what you just said. So that means, yes, so that means that that's not the first time, because there's a bit of curiosity if you're trying it for the first time. So trust
Yeah.
me, there's a bit of attraction to that thing, which is why the guy wants it.
No,
No, Chente, let me tell you,
so.
Chente, let me finish. I've spoken to a couple of guys who said they've gone for massage, you understand, with a lady. And, okay, so they've heard about the G-spots back in their ass. And they didn't understand what it was because they can't even stand you coming near them. You know, the idea of anything that has to do with the backside kind of makes you gay. And he explained,
Okay.
Yes.
yes, and then he explained that, so he went to, I think it was Turkey or one of these countries, and he had a very good massage. And the lady who was there, some of these places, they give you, there's something they call, what's this thing they give
Happy
after?
ending.
Happy ending. So, and they were like, and she couldn't speak English, and she was like, licky licky. So I want to assume that meant she was asking, do you want a blowjob or something? So the
Okay.
guy was like, oh no, he didn't want that because he didn't want to contact because he said bacteria and all that from the mouth, so he didn't want to go all that route. So, that the lady was very good, and that she did this very hot oil massage, and then she popped his ass. You understand? And she just did the pop, and he just hit his G spot. Do you get my point? He
Hey!
was telling me his experience, and that you could see he was clinching, and you could see that there was this fire. Do you understand? That it was an experience it was something he had never experienced before. But guess what? He liked it. Listen, he liked it. It was something that was exciting for him. But Chente, that guy would never let a dildo go in there. The only reason he allowed it because she popped it with her finger.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand? You get my point? Because the mind has a way it works. The minute you understand, whether you like it or not, a dildo sometimes could feel like a real thing. Sometimes. Size-wise, blah, blah, blah. The only difference that
Allah.
there's no body. You understand? It's not a body, so you're not seeing the physical thing. But in your mind, it's the same thing. Even the strap and all that, you understand? It just psyche. You know how the mind works. So from what you just said, that you know what, if you don't enjoy something, because if you're saying, oh, I'm not this, even with your sexuality, it's a thin line. So if you had said,
So see what I'm trying to explain to you.
okay,
When I mean, if you're not attracted to this thing, you will not go for this thing, right?
okay, okay,
What I mean is that for queer people, it's more than the sex. That is what I'm trying to say. You have to be attracted to the same gender. That is how all of it works, right? The sex is part of the sexuality. It is, right? And so if you're not attracted, like, it's more than sex. It is connected to the person that you are having intercourse with. That is what I'm trying to say. So if you're
Chinte,
not attracted
Chinte,
to
explain
a
again.
woman, to a man, if you're not attracted to a man, you're not attracted to a man. Instead, if you like it, you would look forward to exploring it more with a lady that is open to it. That is what I'm saying.
Okay, so I
Because you're not
get.
attracted to a man.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, so I get what you're saying, but I know somebody who is gay, and let me tell you what he told me confidentially. He told in confidence. He told me that for every time he wants to do it, he has to be high so that he's not in his right senses. And let me tell you why he said that. He was a teenager when he was abused. He went for a
I know where
party.
you are going to come from, Franca. I
No,
know
I'm
that.
just saying what he told me. I was not there. I'm not vouching. I don't know if he's lying or if he's telling me the truth. Do you understand? But he told me that, in fact, when he gets himself, he finds out that he's beating up the person the next morning. Yes. He's actually beating up the next person in the morning. That's the person he has slept with the night before. But when he gets up and he's in his right senses, he's beating up, as in really beating up the person. So I don't want to go into all that. Like, I'm telling you from a direct person. So
Okay.
would you say that that person is attracted to the guy?
I think that that person has a lot of trauma to unpack and he needs to come for therapy. That's what I'm going to say.
Or
And
he's
I want
trying,
to correct something.
or he's fighting the fact that he's actually that and gets upset?
Maybe, but he needs to come for therapy.
Okay. Okay, so Cecilia, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something to Chite. There is something I want to say. When you say somebody is sexually confident, it has to do with the person's body, not necessarily being attracted to something. You be comfortable with your body. You are not
Okay.
afraid to initiate. You are not
Okay.
afraid to experiment or explore. So I just want you to know that based on what you were
Yes.
saying, I don't think that was actually the right word to use. You can't say, okay, I don't want to sound like that. As sexually confident is different from what we are talking about. So you won't say that because somebody is sexually confident, then you want to try this, you are open to anal sex and all that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. That's what I'm
It
just
doesn't
trying
have
to
to do
say.
with
Okay.
confidence.
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't
So
have to do
I
with
think
confidence.
it was a mismatching of words.
Words.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Matching and
Yes.
how will they do tonight? Okay, it's allowed. Okay.
Okay, so I get all that. So, but back to the libido thing, you know. So Cecilia, I know that sometimes you find couples that are, that are like back to back while they were dating, early years of their marriage, and then by the time they begin to have issues, they begin to, carry on so much, you find out that the sex just drops. One person's sex libido, let me not say one, but you just find out that it drops, and
The
then
partner just said, yeah.
sorry, yeah, you just find out that it drops.
Correct.
Yeah, you just find out that it drops, and then sometimes the lady is not interested in having sex with the person anymore. But guess what? It doesn't mean she doesn't have a good sex drive. It doesn't mean she doesn't have very good high libido. But she's not connected with that person anymore. If she meets another person who their chemistry is like this, you understand? She's back to who she was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yes. So in that situation, what would you say should happen? What would you recommend?
No. In that kind of situation, what just happened there is unresolved conflict. And that is when you sometimes couples, especially women, just for peace to reign, you just want to be silent, just want to be quiet instead of addressing a particular issue. And sometimes when you speak, they'll say, you're on too much, you're too loud. So if you don't address this thing, it leads to resentment. And that resentment, they enter the other room. You not get as you want to one. Do you understand? Then lack of intimacy. When you don't do it often, as in like this one now, there's tendency for it to also lead to what? Mismatch. Before you know it, it's affecting the libido, bringing it down. So that's why sometimes we just say that you don't even have to be in the mood to indulge in love making. Just indulge in it as you go. This thing will just come. The mood will come by force. You understand? So for this kind of in this kind of situation now, it seems they cannot resolve it by themselves. The best thing they can do, they can see a therapist. But before then, there's something they can naturally do. What is that issue? Because women, because by the time you said when they got married, when you get married, children work, they are working class, and it's a whole lot. And the men are just feeling like king, they are not doing anything. So for you to avoid this kind of situation, help your wife out. If she's not the type that drive herself to work, help to take her to work. Join her in the housework. Those are part of it. It's not only kissing, touching that are actually foreplay. These little things that you do are also major part of foreplay because you are setting a tone. But when a man does not hear a woman out and the woman is saying something, you are not listening or you are not supporting her, it can affect the libido. Not necessarily, because that's why we said that we can also say that except because you use that word, very high libido. Normally, you can't say, oh, this libido, what is normal libido? There's really nothing like normal
Yeah,
libido.
it's
Because
relative.
what might be high for you might just be somebody's starting point. Do you
True.
understand?
True.
So, couple to learn to settle matters or resolve, they should try and just settle their conflict or whatever. What scenario they will have to see a therapist, that is it. That's
Okay.
actually,
Okay.
yeah. But you
Okay.
can
So
also tell you that you can always meet the one that has the high libido along the line. Even if you have a low one, you can meet it
okay.
before you know it. And it works with patience. It doesn't
Okay.
happen overnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's quickly go on the break. When we come back, there are a few questions I would like to ask Sisiade.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Please note that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 081 90384663 or call in to join the conversation on 070250077749 or 0701424220. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so before we went on the break, something just popped up in my head. Sisi Ade, so I know again issues where men haven't tested something outside, and by the time they test it, when they come home, sex is no longer the same thing for them and they are no longer interested in having sex at home. And let me explain what I mean. So usually, you're good with having sex with your wife and then you go and you now indulge in a threesome where one person is giving you here, another person is giving you here, and then you find out that over a while, that's the only thing that turns you on when you are with 2 ladies. You understand? And then for every time you want to have sex at home, you find out that you're not aroused, you're not in the mood to have sex because you don't have 2 ladies, you understand, doing the things, because there are things that would excite you and then you get in the mood. in such instances, what happened? Because I've heard a man, in fact, if a few of my friends were telling, when I mentioned it somewhere, and then somebody said, oh, I know somebody that has happened to. He cannot have good sex if it's not a threesome. In fact, he can't have sex if it's not a threesome.
This is not one of my favorite
Things to talk about.
To talk about, yes.
But
for
it happens.
personal reason and for what I stand for. Yes, it happened. But because it happened does not mean that I will advocate for them. No.
We're not saying it's right. We're not saying it's right.
It's
but
not right.
Yeah, we're not saying it's right. But as a sex therapist.
No, that's what I'm saying. I said for the man to have even gone out. Because let's check it, even if the wife, even if he's able, because what we always say, like when you talk about this libido, one that is higher, one is lower, we always tell you be patient enough to carry the other partner along. Until such a time, the person will be almost on the same level with you. For this kind of scenario now, even if the woman is gay, inside of her, she will never be happy. She's not happy because that wasn't what they signed for from the beginning. So whatever made the man to go out in the first place, I don't even know. That's why I said it's not something that I can really throw like because it's not my favorite thing. I don't know. But the only thing I can't say, okay, go and get another person. No. I won't advise that. The best thing I can say is that you should go for a therapy. That is the truth. So that whatever was done to him can be removed like a deliverance. Yes, can be undone. No, that is the simple truth. Yes. It's not.
Chente, your thoughts on this one? Chente, your thoughts on this one? Do you agree with deliverance as well?
So again, right? I don't know what has, because obviously, like when you go into marriage, you go into exclusivity, right? You go into the fact that you want to do this with your partner, right? You are no more everywhere, right? You should be focused on being intimate with your partner. So if at any point you had gone outside to start, exploring, why did you? Maybe there is something that you were truly searching for, right? And that's why you went outside. So I think therapy also helps. Therapy is important to understand what are you truly looking for that your partner could not give you? Can't you guys talk about it so that people get to the point where maybe she can compromise and start giving you those
Chente,
things?
don't start. Chente, don't start. Not every man. Chente, not every man goes out because they don't have good sex at home.
Yes. I totally understand that.
Not every man goes out. Some men, it's just a dirty habit. Some men, they just want to feel, they just want to explore.
Exactly.
So it really has nothing. You'll be shocked that the woman is everything at home, is even having sex at home, and she's doing everything she needs to do. There are some men who just naturally want to cheat.
Exactly.
Some men are just, they come up with excuses to say, oh, they are stressed up, they want another person. There are men who think that, you know what, my wife is my wife. What I have with this other person, I'm just paying this person. Because you hear it everywhere. They tell you, oh, they are not attached to the girls outside. It's strictly sex. No emotions, nothing.
I agree.
So it really has. So it has nothing to do with the home front.
I agree.
Yes.
I think I had misplaced word, but what I was trying to say is that regardless of anything that made you go outside, even if it's lack of self-control, you actually need therapy to go and understand why is it that, what am I truly looking for outside? Why do I have this dirty habit? If it's an addiction, you need to go for therapy to understand. Do you understand? To get to the root cause of it. Because as I said, once you go into marriage, it is exclusivity. So you have to do everything in your power to understand that you have to stay in the confines of your marriage.
Chente, but guess what? The wife doesn't know that the husband is cheating. So she's dealing with, oh, my husband, we're dealing with mismatched libido. I want to have it, but my husband is always saying he's stressed. He cannot have sex now, blah, blah, blah. Before you know, another problem don't enter the woman. It's after they get high BP. She thinks she's the problem.
Yes. Start feeling guilty.
Yes. She starts to feel guilty.
Exactly. Not knowing that the man will go outside.
Not knowing that it's the man that has gone somewhere. So you can't say, and then guess what? The man will never admit that he's doing anything. The man will never come out to say, he will never admit. So how would that woman solve her problem?
So what does the lady do at that point?
That's the question.
I'm asking you back. That's the question.
No, but see, so okay, so Sisi Ade, you say you don't want to go in there because I just gave an example where the man
Yeah,
is no
but
longer.
don't know what to because it's not my thing. I don't talk about. I know it exists. I don't have anything against those that indulge in it, but it doesn't align with my belief and values. Do you understand? So, but it's a personal thing.
Okay.
And like he said, marriage. If it maybe it's in a relationship now, boyfriend girlfriend, okay. Do you understand? But in marriage, how do you begin to tell? I know there are also some women, some wives that will not even give a damn. They'll be game.
Oh
But
yes, I
let's
was
look
going to
at
say
your
that. Yes, I was going to say
yes,
that because they'll say they want their husband to be happy, so they bring in a third
yes,
party.
yes. Then third
Hmm.
party come as
People
well,
do
third
that.
party can take over.
Chente, people do
Come
it,
take over.
yes.
Now people do it. It's
Oh.
okay.
People do
Yes.
it a lot. So
We
the
know
girl would find. So they have an arrangement to say that
an arrangement.
I
Yes.
would bring the person who is always bringing in the third. So the wife is the person who would always bring in the third party, not the guy.
Yes. Sometimes they used to use their big house
Hey, nothing where we no go see for this.
story like that. Just that it's
Hey.
not something I really want to like dwell on. It happened. No, forget that thing, no.
So
Forget love actually.
I was in a gathering 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago. Yes, and it was mentioned that a guy, initially the wife would always they would always introduce a third party because the guy was hot on it. So they would introduce a third party into their relationship because they wanted to have a threesome and all that. And they continued to do it for a while. But eventually, the wife now said, you know what, she wanted to experience with two other guys, not always, always.
Yes.
So she
I've heard
started going.
about it. Yes.
Yes, so she started going
The man
out.
can't take it.
The
The
man
man
is
will not.
depressed right now.
That is it. Men can't take half of the shit that they give out. That is the truth.
The
So
one
that's why
that I heard with my full chest that they are doing
Swing.
is that they are doing couple swap.
Swing. That's
Couple
the swing.
swap,
That's the
like,
swing party.
free party, but men does not. They can't accept it. They can't settle for it.
No, Sisi
hey
Ade. No,
God.
Sisi Ade, let me
Yes.
tell you. In fact, okay, so in fact, I was sitting down with a couple of friends and he mentioned that what happens is for you to go to a swing party, you need to come with your marriage certificate because it has to be your wife.
Okay.
That is, for you to go, for when you want to go, you have to go with your marriage certificate because they don't want you bringing a random person and then you come sleep with their
Very
wives
good.
and then you bring in a random person and pretend the person is your wife. So you have to come with your marriage certificate. And then he also mentioned that it is so bad now that in the contract when you for jobs, maybe some men come together to do business and all that. They will tell you they will give you jobs and all that. But I think as part of maybe it's a cult thing or to show loyalty, everybody sleeps with their wives.
Hey,
Yeah, there's something
Jesus.
like that.
Do you understand?
Something like
So what
that.
happens is if you're a new member, they will all sleep with your wife and you would also sleep with their wife. So that way you can't go outside and talk about it. So the things you guys do remains there.
Hey.
So there are a lot of things going on outside there, and that
All in the name of what?
I tell people that what, it's safer for you to be in your space and don't get out because if you get out, your mind is just corrupt. It's a lot of nonsense happening out there, a lot.
To be honest,
It's
oh
a
my
lot.
God.
So because you begin to, I'm trying to understand how a couple, one person is indulging in a lot of things outside the marriage and one person is in the house, doesn't have an idea of what is going on out there, and then your spouse or your partner comes home and then you are blaming yourself for something you do not know anything about. And then you now begin to discuss he's no longer interested in me, and there's nothing wrong with you. Completely nothing wrong. It's just that Sisi Ade, you are always saying your religion. Because at that point, I would tell the woman to go and find what makes her happy.
No, it's not the one you asked me. No, it's not that one.
No,
You
because
said
at
the
the end
man
of
will
the
not.
day, no. You know why I'm saying that? At the end of the day, Sisi Ade, whether not threesome or whether not foursome, if the woman is not happy with it, she will blame herself for it. Do you
And that's why I
So
understand?
said
why?
with
So that
with
Chente
the
was
game.
asking me, Chente was not asking me that, Franca, what would the wife do at that point? Chente, you asked me that, right?
Yes, I did. So my
Yes.
own would be, if at a point, right, you know that you are
Uh-huh.
fulfilling everything, you know that you are possibly fulfilling all your marriage rights, and you
Yeah.
still feel insecure, right? The question
Yes.
I'll ask is, why do you truly feel insecure, right?
Chente
So
has nothing to insecurity.
Woman is
No.
insecure now. When insecurity comes, I don't know.
There's
I'm
no
not getting
no, I'm
insecurity
you.
here,
saying like,
Chente.
why do you feel like no? So
Who are you
me.
referring to now? Is it the man or the woman? I am not getting you.
There's a reason why. See, now you said that this man is going outside
She
to do
doesn't know
whatever
the
he
man is
sees,
going out
He
and then she
doesn't
now
know.
thinks that it is her fault. It's what
because
I'm
she's in
saying.
a
So you
relationship.
thinking that
Chente, because she's in a
I think this
relationship
is
with
the
her
point.
husband.
Okay, what will work at this point so that we don't overflow this issue? If
Yeah,
she's feeling overwhelmed,
Chente, it has
in
nothing to do with
a certain way,
insecurities because trust
a
me, if she
certain way,
finds somebody else, she go shag the person pure, you understand? She go vanquish the person well, and you will know that she doesn't have any insecurities.
so at this point, since she doesn't know what is happening, this
Yes.
is the this is the stage where she asks the husband, "Guy, what's up?"
Okay.
yes,
And
but Franca already said that the husband will never agree that
so
he's
that
the
is
one
an
or
issue.
that
That
he's
is an
cheating.
yeah. So what if you don't talk? That's the thing we say in sex coaching. If you don't talk, nobody is a mind reader. You have to talk. You have to speak out. So you just say it with your full chest. Tell your partner what is up.
No,
What
Sister
is
Ade, let me
wrong.
tell you at the point where they will talk. You know, when the woman
Uh-huh.
don't go outside, the man don't see say the woman don't
But
go
these people are
outside.
They
doing
go
this
come blame the
They will
woman.
call no, it's not even about blaming the woman. When the man is seeing that more things don't they get as a bill, I want scatter my home. That's if the man has a conscience, if he can
Yeah.
talk.
Hmm.
If he can
Okay.
talk. But sometimes,
Uh-huh.
But do you know that?
yes.
Do you know that there are some men, when the woman starts going outside, there are some men that will never still talk. They'll be like, oh, they will now use it as a form of manipulation. You are the one going outside, not knowing that it's him that started it, that made the woman feel like she's not enough in this
No, but
marriage.
Chente, if in all honesty, if I have a husband who prefers to go outside and sleep outside, and he doesn't think that he has a wife at home, I will not beg a man for sex. Do you understand? It's a mutual thing. I won't be begging you to have sex with me. So if you don't want to have sex, that's fine. So if I give you a time frame and you don't reset your brain, and I begin to do my own thing, who is going to know that we are doing anything? Really?
So both of you are cheating on your own part.
We're not
And
cheating.
nobody.
We're in an open relationship.
Ah, Franca.
Sisi Ade, what do you think?
This is your recommendation. Get us in view.
I'm not recommending. I am not recommending.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the truth
Okay.
is, you have
Okay,
tried to
let me
have
put
it.
it this way. Two wrongs
Yes.
cannot make it right. You understand? So I'm still coming from the place of they have to talk.
Okay.
They have to
Yes.
talk. If the man is not talking, the woman at least she would have tried. Or if he miss calling family member or whatever, if you have to
Okay.
get to that point, just
Okay.
have to talk.
Yeah,
So
so
the
if
best thing
it's
is
not
not for her to
working,
just because why will she? Okay, you are going out. How you said you don't know that your husband is cheating, so why will cheating not be an option?
you don't
It shouldn't
understand
be.
it. But really, if your husband doesn't sleep with you, you and I were having a conversation, Sisi Ade, and you told me you know relationship where the couples have not slept with each other for 13 years. What would you
Yes,
call
I
that?
know.
Hey.
What would you
But
call
we don't
that?
know what they do behind the doors now. Maybe that is what you are saying now.
Exactly.
Maybe they have a way of taking care of themselves. Yes, I
Exactly.
get you.
Yes,
I
nobody is saying
understand where you are
anything,
coming
but they
from.
can come out and have
Yeah,
a conversation with you. They can
yes,
actually
yes,
come out to
true.
have a conversation and tell you outrightly that they are not sleeping with each other. So who are they sleeping with?
Exactly. That's my okay. I get you now. I get you now. So
So that means they are
everybody just
quietly
told you now.
in an open relationship, but nobody's admitting to it. Because
Yeah,
you
so yeah,
cannot
that is
tell me that the man hasn't slept with anybody for 13 years and the woman is not doing something as well. It's not possible.
not possible.
Thank
Very
you.
true. It's not possible.
Yes. And you
Very
confirm
true.
that there are a lot of marriages like that in Nigeria.
Yes.
Which one be Nigeria? For this our area. For this our Lagos. For this our island. And even for that
Island, especially for down the island. Hey.
So, but
Omo.
so you see, Chente, I'm not. So it's not about me recommending. It's about stating what it is.
No. Yeah.
It's about
It's
stating what it is.
It is
So-
what it is.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yes.
But
So
what if there is actually one party that is actually being like, or maybe he is the wife that maybe she's not sleeping outside. Maybe it's the husband. Maybe both of them are not doing the thing. It's only one person that is actually doing it out. What if?
Chente, you don't get my point. At some point, there's going to be a crack.
What if? No, Frank, because let's be honest, right? There are people that may not cheat, but they will just stop having sex and they will stop being intimate. They are. So
And
it's
so what
not.
happens?
It's not a.
No,
And that
Chente,
is also not recommended. That is also not
Chente,
recommended.
so
It's
if that
not
person,
recommended.
Chente, if that person is
Yeah.
not cheating, that person will want to talk about their issues. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's only when you are cheating that you don't want to say
Oh,
exactly what
so
the
when you are
problem is.
cheating and he's cheating, both of you are silent and both of I
Everybody's
get now.
silent. But if you're not cheating and you think it's a medical, in fact, the truth is, I've had a situation where the guy has a medical condition, but he's not man enough to talk about it with his wife. As in, he doesn't feel it's something he wants to discuss. You know, men and ego.
Yeah.
You understand? He doesn't want to discuss it. So he stays away from the house. He's always going on trip. He will do this, he will go do that. You understand? Which is why I mentioned the fact that sometimes it is something that triggers them. Some people want to have sex with mad girls. Some people want to have, when I mean mad, crazy people. Some people want to have sex where, you understand, you chain them, you do all that. And then their wives won't do that at home. And they can't tell their wife that that is what needs to get them there.
Which is actually not a problem. Just say it.
Just
Because
say it.
Your fantasy has a fantasy.
Your
So at the
fantasies,
end point of
exactly.
this conversation is true communication, right?
Like controversial person this cheating you.
I'm
Yeah,
no,
controversial.
You like to scatter ground.
no, I'm just
I don't mark your face.
He said, I don't mark your face. Okay, so but really, so what are we concluding based on dealing with mismatched libido?
I think is communication. I think that is what the end point of this conversation is trying to say. Is communication. Is that at every point where you feel like this person is not matching up to my standard, this is not. Do you understand? I think that at every point you should learn to be open to communicate. I think it will truly strengthen it, right?
True.
Learn to be open to communicate to your partner. This is what I feel. I feel like we are not in the same energy. I want more. I want less. If you want more, let us talk about it. Let us see what actually works for us, right?
Exactly.
Let's explore therapy.
And there's nothing wrong in exploring together. Go see a sex therapist together. Try new things together, and create boundaries. Oh, nobody goes to my butt. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody does this. Nobody does that. If it doesn't put anything if it doesn't still affect the relation, then you go on. You understand? But like the couples you spoke about now, you'll be shocked that if, for example, if they were just dating and that guy starts to date somebody else and that girl has something in her head to say, why would I stick a dildo in my boyfriend's ass? Problem don't start. You go say the guy not bisexual.
It will shock you. See, it will shock you how many couples are doing that. But let's not. I mean, we are wrapping up the conversation. Let's not start another one.
Chente, I need to talk to you privately. Yeah, there's some things you're not telling me. So, Sisi,
There is
you want to
plenty
say
things I'm not
something?
telling you.
There are a lot of things you're not telling me, Chente. We need to have a conversation. Sisi, yes, you need to say something. We're about to round up.
Yeah. Outside communication, compromise, meeting at a middle point, level ground. You understand?
Okay.
And try and understand what that person where that person is coming from. By having a conversation on your needs, your desire, how you want to be taught, how you want it. Then at the end of the day, patient. Just be patient. Show empathy. Work as a teamwork, as a teammate. And last, just go for a therapy if you cannot solve it alone. It's actually one of the common, how would I put it, it's a very common problem that can be solved with therapy and coaching. Thank you very much.
Okay,
We have an
Chente.
awesome sex therapist here.
Awesome.
This
Chente,
one,
I
like,
told you
oh
you were
my
going to love
God.
this conversation. Chente, I told you you were going to love
I
the
loved it.
conversation.
I don't even want to. Please, can we be having this conversation every day? Like, I can sit down here for 3 hours and
Okay,
do
so we
this.
will have her every Friday. So if you want to be part of the sex conversation, why not?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's fine. No problem. Okay, so we see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.